Welcome back, friends. Today I've got 5 hours to finish Mrs. Wranglerstar's surprise. As I told you guys, I'm surprising her with a laundry room that's in the heated space. It's a lot closer to the house, so she doesn't have to go down to the basement. So I've got everything put together. Problem is I knew this going into it. The door to the new laundry room, which was an old closet, is too small. It's a tiny door. It's 24 inches. The laundry or the washer and dryer are 27 inches. So we're going to pull this door out really quick. We got to cut back into the wall, alter the framing, and then prep it for the new door. We'll reuse this one in the bathroom that we did off of my office. So let's get started. We've got 5 hours. Now I've got to take off the casing. Got to make sure you cut. Everything, of course, I do is always caulked and painted. So we got to cut that caulking and that paint seam so that when we remove it, we don't tear the paint or damage the surface on the wall. Here we are inside the new laundry room, ex-closet. The best way that I've found to take these doors out, now they're going to be nailed in from the sides, hopefully not from the bottom. You don't nail the bottom with the doors, just from the sides. If you can see the nails, you can take a small, like a nail set, and just take your hammer and drive them all the way through. That's one way of doing it. I think the simplest way, if it's caulked and painted where you can't see with the nail heads, is just a reciprocating saw with a metal cutting blade. So I'll get rid of that demo blade. That's going to be your fine tooth metal blade. But just go carefully in here and run it flush. You should be able to cut out all of the nails very quickly with this. Once you cut those nails out, you should be able to take the door frame out. Be careful with it if you're going to reuse it. You can totally take one of these out and place it somewhere else. Maybe you might want to save it for the future if you wanted to put it in a shop or something. But this one here, we'll reuse that in the bathroom. Now we got to figure out how big of a door we can put in here. This being a high use area, she's going to be coming in multiple times a day with baskets and her arms full. You're going to want to have we got to have the biggest door as possible. This aperture here now is 26 inches. When you're framing a door up, you take and you add 2 inches to the top and the bottom. Some guys add 2.5 to the top. So, for example, if you're putting in a 30-inch door, the rough opening or the framing stud to stud is 32 and 82.5 on the top. So we have some conflicts. So here, of course, we've got the stairs there, so we're really limited. We can't possibly go any further this way. Even with where it was when I originally put it in, I had a little tiny piece of trim right there. So that's pretty much a hard number right there. So what it seems to me we can do is, it looks like we can get a 28-inch door. That doesn't sound like much, but that 4 inches is a lot when you're walking through it. It's what we're limited to. So it's always seems like a trade-off. So to get it a 28-inch door, then we're going to need a 30-inch rough opening, and then I have to go back into the wall now 1.5 inches to place that stud. So we're going to have to cut this all out and reframe that. So let me lay it out and we'll get about doing it. Do pardon the mess, I'm in full remodel mode here. So just to give you a perspective, so this is off the kitchen that goes down to my office where I do all my editing. And so the new laundry room is going to be here to the right, in kind of an unused closet. So here's what we need to do. We've got to cut this much out of the wall. It's about 4 inches what it came to. So we've got the paneling there. We've got to tie in with the trim somehow at the stairs. And then you can see inside, here's where the new units will stack. This will now give us a 28-inch door. 27 inches is the width, so we have an inch to play with right here, and then I'll have to order a new door. So this is what we need to cut out as well. So I'll show you the perfect tool for this job. If you guys haven't bought one of these, the oscillating tools, man, if you do any sort of remodel, you need to have one. I've become more and more dependent upon this thing for cutting. Someone once said in the comments that it was their get out of jail free card, and I think that's completely apropos. It's when you can't figure out how to cut something is when you're going to use this. So we've got to cut, let's cut the drywall first. So your blades are going to come in all different thicknesses and stuff. So I'll usually use these great big wide ones because it just goes quicker. And whatever one of these you buy, I don't know that it makes that much difference. This is one thing I would do. I've only used 2 of them, but I used the original brand, the German brand, the Fiend, and it was corded, and that was a really good one, but I wouldn't buy one that was corded. This is a tool you want to have that's non-corded. This is such a bad design. Makita's designed this, so if you get your hand, you try to push this slowly, and you get your hand under there, it whips so hard it'll about break your knuckle. Actually, we'll need to turn that because we're going to start up high, so you can turn it at a comfortable angle where it's going to work for you. There, just don't let that thing snap you. That's a terrible design right there. I wouldn't get the Makita just for that reason. Probably just get the DeWalt. Bad thing about these guys is they do make a terrible racket. And of course, the door is not framed standard height. For this to be standard height, I'd need to cut up to here. So I might, once I get into the framing, if it's possible, I'd like to raise that up another inch. That way I don't have to cut the door down in the jamb, which is always a drag. For some reason, whoever framed this house, I think every door was a different height, or most of them. I had to cut almost all of them down, finished fir doors. It was awful. Let's see what we got back behind here. This tool right here, this is a beekeeper's tool. Every finished carpenter I know carries one of these. This is the best tool for this sort of thing where you're doing finish work. I'll put a link from in the Amazon store. They're just a couple bucks, but these are really handy for this sort of work. All right. Well, man, we just lucked out. You won't believe it. I can't believe it. Rare is the day that I catch a break remodeling this old house. There's actually a stud almost where we need to be. It's recessed in there a little bit, maybe a ½ inch back further. So I'll just rip a piece of plywood, ½ inch plywood, and tack it on there, and then we're good. We don't have to get into the wall anymore. To cut the stud out, I'll use a reciprocating saw because it's got some big 16-penny nails in there. You're almost always better cutting those nails off than trying to pull them out. You do more damage that way. Now we should be able to just remove this section here. Easy peasy. Looks a lot scarier than it is. The last thing we need to cut is this bottom plate flush. And that's going to mess up our carpet, right? We're going to have a big hole there. Yeah, I'm going to put an engineered floor in here, so this could be more durable for us. So if she spills bleach or something, it's not going to just destroy the carpet. So we'll make this up in the transition. As Mrs. W always says, clean as you go, just like a pro. You don't want to work in down the ground and all this filth, tracking it all over the house. Let me get you up to speed here. So we're putting a 20-inch door in, right? So we need that 30-inch opening. So what we have here, fortunately with that stud that they put there, that stud was put there to hold the electrical box, which is on the other side, so it couldn't have worked out better. And I kind of knew that. I wasn't sure which side of it was on, but it did work out. So we want 30 inches. So we have the edge of the drywall, but this is recessed back in there a half. So what we'll do is I'll go out to the shop and I'll just rip a piece of plywood, 1/2 inch plywood, 3.5 inches by 79, whatever this is, and then we'll put that on. Then we'll have our perfect rough opening. And that's about as far as we can go with the door today because we don't have it. Now that I have the exact opening and everything, I'll order the door for the thickness of the jamb so they can rebuild it to match the rest of the house. It'll be the exact thickness here. I ripped a piece of 1/2 inch plywood out on the table saw, so this should just be perfect. And now we got the rough opening that we wanted. We'll just tack this with a few nails, and then when we install the door casing, it'll get nailed through properly. Now we need to patch the floor where the old studs came down, because when we put the new engineered floor in, we don't want to have any gaps, you know, to get that spongy feel there. So I just ripped a piece of plywood. That's actually a little bit tight, but no harm. I'm going to use screws to suck this down because you don't want a squeak in the floor. So because I didn't want to get up and walk 10 feet and get the right screw, I had a 3-inch screw in my belt, and of course there's nothing for it to bite into. I should have known better. But this will give us a good teaching moment here. So if you ever get a screw like that doesn't bite and you're trying to get it out, because if you go in reverse, you'll see because there's no threads on the shank, it can be a real problem. So that's where a chisel, that's why the little Mora chisel that I like to carry is one of the reasons I use it. If you get underneath of it, now you can pry up a little tension while you're turning until those teeth engage, and then run it back out. So again, please forgive the mess in here. So this is the washer, and these are stackable. So we got a kit with it that we can put the dryer on top. I guess you put the washer on the bottom and the dryer on the top because it's so much lighter, according to the instructions. So the problem I have here is that this is like a 16th under, maybe a 32nd under 27. And my opening in that door right there is 27 to get into the hallway. So I can't carry this out and around through the snow by myself, but if I can get it through there, then I think it'll go straight in. So let's give it a try anyway, and if it doesn't fit, then I'll call Brian, have him come down and give me a hand moving it. This is very tight. Is that gonna fit through there? It's not. Nope, it's not. Gonna have to go around the front. Wait a minute. Something just dawned on me. I can't put this in here, so I'll put the floor in. Gotta put the floor in first and then that. I have the floor, so. All right, well, I guess that's all we're gonna have time for today. It just goes to show that these projects that I said to myself this morning, yeah, 5 hours, I should be able to have that framing all done and everything hooked up and have it done before Mrs. W gets home, but you triple it. That's about, and you're about right. So I'll pull all this carpet out. We'll get everything out. See if Brian can come over and knock this floor out really quick. Put that in. If you want, let me know in the comments. I can show you how we're putting the floor in. It goes in really quick and easy, and then we'll put the deal in. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching. A little bit of an odd video here, but that's what I'm doing today, and that's what I try to do is share with you guys what I'm doing. So, have a good weekend. Well, or have a good week. I guess it's Tuesday. The weekend just went by so fast. What did we do this weekend? We went skiing. Oh, and then it was nice, I worked on my dirt bike. Actually, I've got a video here I'll upload as well if you're into that. I think you might enjoy it, but it was Sunday, and Mrs. W had some stuff she had to do, and Jack was off with his friends in his ski lesson, so I kind of had a day off. So I went out in the shop and I completely tore the dirt bike apart and did the 1-year maintenance, or the 80-hour maintenance. All the bearings, re-greased everything, went through the whole deal, and I think you'll enjoy that video. So I'll upload that as well, so you have something else to watch. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys over on the wood floor part.